Good afternoon. I'm George Anderson, one of the associate editors of America Magazine. Glad to be with you here today to say a few words about the so-called Damas de Blanco, the ladies in white who have been protesting in Cuba on Sundays primarily about the detention of many of their relatives, sons and other relatives that have been receiving very harsh treatment. And during March marked the anniversary, the 7th year anniversary of the Black Spring, so-called, when many human rights protesters were rounded up, subjected to kangaroo-type trials, and then incarcerated, and some 50 of those are still in jail. So this past March, the ladies marched not only on Sundays carrying sprays of gladiolas, but also every day of the week to mark the 7th anniversary of the repression. And this has been very difficult for some, especially there was one person incarcerated who went on a hunger strike, a Mr. Tamayo, who died as a result of his hunger strike. And his mother has been one of the protesters, and as often happens when their ladies come out, the Cuban Secret Service also comes out and treats them very roughly, pushes them into buses and takes them away. And then crowds outside in support of Fidel are crying out, Fidel, Fidel, while the ladies themselves are crying out, Libertad, Libertad. So it's a very repressive regime, and one of the remarkable things is that even though Cuba itself has made huge strides in terms of providing medical care and literacy for much of its population, human rights have been completely ignored. And there had been some hope that under Raul Castro, when he took over from his brother Fidel, that there'd be improvements, but there really have been no improvements. So it's a rather dark picture in Cuba at this time in terms of human rights. And on the other hand, we might say that they have a certain right of their own to say, well, look at what you're doing to prisoners in Guantanamo Bay, where many have been subjected, as we know, to serious torture methods in terms of their interrogations. But there is hope that in time, that maybe if we ourselves lift the embargo in Cuba, that there could be better relations between the U.S. and Cuba itself, and hopefully a move toward a greater allocation of important human rights, the right to free speech especially, which is severely repressed at this time. So thank you for being with us this afternoon. George Anderson at America Magazine.